Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by Tri-County Logging. Experienced in sustainable forestry practices, Tri-County Logging can help you manage your property by keeping your woods healthy and generate income. Serving southern and mid-Michigan for nearly 50 years, TriCountyLogging.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others. Join the fight.
Well, hey everyone, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We have a brand new show, and we're going to kick things off above the bridge. Jordan Brown is going to take us to the Keweenaw Peninsula, where he was trying to get a few different fishing stories, and none of them really went as planned, but it's a good story. You won't want to miss that. After that, I'm going to stay here close to home and do some fishing out of Grand Haven. The silverfish are starting to show up, and I was able to get out with a really fun group of guys. We're also going to have time for a bragging board on this week's show as well. So much good variety on this week's show. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's meat processor and Michigan destination since 1988. Offers a variety of homemade smoked meats and Michigan-made products in-store and online. The Country Smokehouse features an outdoor barbecue and bar. Details at countrysmokehouse.com. By Alta Equipment Company, providing sales, rentals, service, and parts because uptime matters. From earth moving to landscaping and light construction, Alta offers over 50 brands across 7 Michigan locations to serve you. More information online or 844-GO-2-ALTA. By Polar Craft Boats, offering riveted and welded boats for the outdoor enthusiast. Whether you're targeting fish or waterfowl, Polar Craft Boats have several models to choose from that keep you high and dry. For more information, polarcraft.com.
Hello.
Hi, $4.
Thank you.
Hi. Do you need a receipt?
No, I don't. Thank you.
You guys have a good day.
You too.
For this week's show, I was north of the bridge, hoping to capture a couple of stories while in the UP. Starting out about as far north as you can get, in the Keweenaw Peninsula. Well, it's early July up here at Copper Harbor right now. Actually, Copper Harbor right in the background behind me. Kind of bouncing around the UP today. We were supposed to go out to Standard Rock, which is one of my favorite places in the entire state, but it's extremely weather dependent. It's a reef system way out in the middle of Lake Superior, and you really want to make sure you have good weather to make the run all the way out there. So today we had northeast winds, just wasn't going to happen. Tomorrow looks a little dicey if we'll be able to make the run out there then. We might be able to try to get out Thursday, kind of waiting to see on the weather. So otherwise, we're going to look at some near-shore options while we're up here, but today kind of turned into just a travel day, so we cruised up here to Copper Harbor, kind of a unique spot here in Michigan to check this out, and hopefully get back on the water tomorrow, but in the meantime, just enjoying some time in the UP. The northeast winds never did let up, so the next morning we decided to make a near-shore trip right along the Keweenaw with Captain John Littlefield. Joining us on the boat today was good friend of the show, Brad Dupuis, and my younger brother Kevin, who was fishing Lake Superior for the very first time.
Yeah, we're headed out of Lac La Belle. Doing some fishing on Lake Superior for mostly lake trout, but hopefully we'll get a silver bite or two. We get a mix of cohos, kings, occasionally a steelhead or a splake or even a brown. So hopefully we'll get some variety today.
John has a lot of experience fishing in this part of the state and was able to tell me a little bit more about the region and about the different subspecies of lake trout that inhabit these waters.
Well, we're in the Keweenaw Peninsula fishing Bay de Gris. It's the south side of the Keweenaw. The name of the game for much of Lake Superior, here included, is lake trout fishing. There's at least 3, some people say there's 4 different strains of lake trout. And here we usually encounter the lean strain and the Sisquit strain, or the fat strain they call them. And they all inhabit their own niche. The deeper water fish tend to be Sisquits, generally 150 feet and deeper. And then the shallower nearshore waters, you tend to encounter the lean strain. We attempted to do a standard rock trip, just the weather didn't allow it. We just kind of been watching the weather for the last few days leading up to it, and we just couldn't get a calm enough wind to do it. But the good part about the Keweenaw is, regardless of the wind direction, you can usually jump around and find a place to get out and at least get in some fishing. Even though it's not the offshore experience we were hoping for, we're still having a good time.
All right. Feels like a decent Lake Superior laker here. Can't beat the backdrop, Jordan.
Quite a little wind and a little weather here, but
It's a little choppy. Got a few fish going with a backdrop that is, I'd say, almost second to none. Nice Lake Superior laker. Not a huge one, but a nice average fish out here. A little luck, we'll get a silver bite. Still working on that. But glad to have this one in the boat. I had the enjoyment of taking the day, driving up, towing the boat, crossing the Mackinac Bridge, getting up in the UP, the Upper Peninsula, going down to up through the Seney area. It's just a very scenic route. You get up along the lake, the north side of Lake Michigan along 2, which is very beautiful. Cross the UP, get up on the Lake Superior side. Just a lot of really cool scenery and really neat area. Up here on the Keweenaw, there seems to be a lot of history of mining and copper and things like that, and you see a lot of things that remind me of aged infrastructure and ruins of areas where copper mining was so prevalent. So there's just a lot of really cool places to visit and a lot of scenes to take in and to really enjoy. So it's been a very good experience for me. I haven't spent really any time up here in the Keweenaw Peninsula, so I encourage anybody to do so and take the time to give yourself a little extra time to take it all in. Absolutely awesome experience. How about that? Double.
what happened there?
Just the old classic 2-for-1 here on Lake Superior. So far, so good. Battling a little bit of seasickness. Not used to kind of being out on a big boat like this, but it's been a lot of fun and it's really beautiful out here.
Sometimes it's easy to take the Great Lakes for granted, especially if you fish them often. But even on days with rough water and mostly small lake trout, we're still fortunate to have these lakes so close to home.
First time up here in the Keweenaw Peninsula, it's been outstanding. It really has. All of the views, as the other guys have mentioned, have just been really, really beautiful. So seeing it from this vantage point has been awesome today out here on the big lake, and kind of getting a good view of Copper Harbor and the rest of the peninsula. And yeah, it's just been an awesome experience up here. I love it up here in the UP, and this corner of it is truly exceptional. So happy to be out here.
After 4 or 5 hours on some pretty rough water, with a live well full of fish, we decided to pull lines and head back in. As we did, John compared this trip to what a normal trip looks like in this part of the state.
There's better days, there's worse days. We did pretty well. I'd say that's average, and that lake trout definitely makes up the large percentage of the catch. We have had a stretch of inconsistent weather here, which hasn't helped the silverfish. But usually you're fishing for maybe 1 or 2 silverfish bites per trip. So
Yeah, more or less average. The Great Lakes are broken down into different management units. Here on this particular part of the lake, the limit's 5 apiece, 15-inch minimum. I think you're allowed one over 34 inches or something, but that wasn't an issue today. Yeah, great eating fish though.
It was great to be on Lake Superior. It's good to be off the lake. It was a little rough out there today. I'm sitting, relaxing, chilling, enjoying the scenery. That's one thing that's so awesome about the Keweenaw and being out here. The scenery and the view is just beautiful. So I'm sitting back, enjoying it, and relaxing.
All in all, it was a great day on the water and one of my favorite places in the entire state. Special thanks to Brad and John for inviting us out. After we made our way back, we continued our journey across the UP, heading back east towards Marquette. The plan for this trip was to catch up with an angler we had highlighted a few years back, who happens to own a fly shop in downtown Marquette, and also spend a few hours fly fishing for bass and walleye.
We're here at Superior Outfitters. It's been 5 years, I believe, since we've been on Michigan Out of Doors. We've expanded in a lot of areas, but we're still sticking to our roots. We tie a lot of flies, we do a lot of fly tying classes, we do plenty of guiding, beginner lessons. We've added a lot of new stuff to the shop. And, we've got clothing, waders, full lines of Sims gear. We've added trolling tackle. We're a lot heavier on our walleye gear than we've ever been. We really have something for everybody here now. We don't have the biggest space in the world, but we'll have what you need for the local area. I've seen the average angler up here get into a wider variety of what they fish for. A lot of guys that were just walleye fishermen, or they just trolled the big lakes. They're taking up fly fishing. Maybe they got into bluegills with poppers. There's a lot of different things to do around here. Like what we're gonna do later tonight is something that, a lot of people don't think about. I'm a big trout fisherman, but I've been spending a lot of nights targeting bass and walleye on the fly.
After checking out the shop, we hit the water in hopes of capturing a pretty unique bite.
All right, we're in the central UP tonight. We're gonna go after some walleye and bass, probably catch a few pike while we're at it. The main reason we're out here is to see if we can catch the tail end of the hex hatch, which that's been going on pretty strong for about a month. We've got a mixed bag of some other bugs out too, so we're not totally relying on them. Bit of a cold front's come through, but we were out here last night and it was just fine. You get about a short window from 10 to about 10:45 where they're really hitting, with peak being right in the middle of that. And then you can kind of plug away at a few other fish for the rest of the night. So this is a wiggle minnow. The body's foam. We got some craft fur and flash on the tail. Actually got some glow in there too. I'll charge this thing up later on if we stay out into pitch dark. It's got some rattle eyes on there, just cheap doll eyes. Make quite a bit of noise. So on the retrieve, this is swimming like a crankbait. A lot of vibration. They're relatively easy to cast. I like to pop them a couple times as soon as they land. Then I'll let them sit while the line sinks. Half the time they're just gonna take them on the surface. But if you get a fish that's not all that interested or just swirling at it, usually the retrieve does the trick. Probably swallowed it. Wiggle minnows don't last long with these guys around.
As the sun began to fade, more bugs started to appear, and more fish started to surface.
Almost 10 o'clock, we're just starting to see the first of the mayflies. We got some hex and drakes out, and we just saw a few fish surface a minute ago. So I think it's almost game time here. Should have a pretty fun night.
Despite a promising start, things slowed down pretty quickly, with this rock bass being the only fish we caught after the sun set. The bugs were there, The fish were there, and we were there, but for whatever reason, we just couldn't get them to bite. Either way, it was nice to catch up with Nick, see the shop, and spend another night on the water. Sometimes it's more about who you're with and where you're at than how big or how many fish end up in the boat. Things didn't exactly go according to plan on this trip, but it was still a great couple of days in Michigan's Upper Peninsula.
Well, as you can see, any trip above the bridge is always a ton of fun. In this next story, I'm going to get to stay really close to home and do some fishing with a really fun group of guys out of Grand Haven. I was contacted by them because they were doing kind of a tribute to a good friend who passed away a few years back, and I thought it was worth tagging along. Earlier this week, I was able to tag along with a fun group of guys just down the road from home here in Grand Haven. The word on the street is that the silverfish were showing up.
Today we're running quite a mix of stuff. We got some spoons that we're putting out, some moonshines here early, some meat rigs, some flies, a little bit of everything. The fish are pretty deep, so these guys today have a lot of reeling ahead of them.
On the boat today was Chuck Yonker, Dick Strevey, Brad Risher, all good buddies, and all graduated with our captain today, Captain Willis.
Is this a charity case you got today, or how'd you go?
Pretty much ladies' retiree day. It's a little Memorial Day for us. So
nice.
We lost one of our close friends, childhood friend. We all sort of grew up together. Well, most of us grew up, but it's a memorial deal for us.
Nice.
And I thought we'd get together and do it. It's a nice way to do it. Can't run away this way, so. And I don't play golf anymore. So.
It may be a whale, I don't know.
Get him the harness.
It's hard to reel when you're laughing.
These guys were quite the group. The ribbing never stopped as our first fish worked its way in, and we were just hoping to get this one in the net.
Oh, baby. Here we go.
Okay, reel. Keep reeling, lift up and reel, lift up and reel, lift up and reel. Keep reeling. Lift high. Oh! Keep reeling. We'll get them that time.
There we go.
In the boat.
In for the win.
Nice
Somebody get the towels out. Give him a little air.
With the skunk out of the box, I had Chuck tell me a little bit more about why this group got together today.
Willis and Dick kind of came up with a plan to commemorate the fact that it was 50 years for high school, at least. And about 2012 was the last time we went out with Tommy Glockson, who is a good friend who's passed away. And normally with this group, it's just hard getting together for a cold beverage sometimes. But Will threw out a couple of dates, and we got on the horn to the other three of us, and boy, the luck was with us. Actually, Tommy was with us because everything came together for a change. And well, here we are. It's like we haven't missed too many beats in between, even though it's been a long time. The last time we were out with this crew fishing was 2012, May 2012.
There we
Bingo!
Good job.
And he's still standing.
Good work.
Oh boy! And the hook came right out.
The hook came right out.
Perfect. What time is it? I planned it that way.
Is that a long one?
That's a long one. It's the 450. We started with the 2 1/4, then the 300. Now we're at the 450. So
wow.
Lots of real. Right. We'll be here a minute.
You got the young guy up? Is that what you're saying?
We had lots of things in the water today, from spoons to flies and meat rigs and stuff all over the water column. From what Captain Willis said, much of the fishing is weather dependent.
Changed a lot over the years. Everybody anticipated that end of August for the kings to move in, or the big kings anyway, before they would run and spawn. They would pre-spawn out here, set up. But the last few years it's been more this mid-July where they start showing back up and the alewives move back in. So our July has been super good from mid-July on, and that'll go probably till mid-August, and then it's going to be hard to say. We've had runs last for as long as 2 or 3 weeks. If we have a dry fall, if the fish come in and stage and we get a bunch of rain, we get a lot of scent from the river, and that's what they're looking for. And they'll run at that time, and they might all run in 2 or 3 days then. And so then we're back to fishing 2-year-old kings and lake trout, maybe steelhead.
Okay, now keep reeling one more time down. Okay, now lift up, nice and easy. Lift up high, lift up, keep lifting up. There we go. That one's a big one. Here he comes.
Whoa! Oh my gosh!
There's
the fish. Oh, heavy.
Winner.
Say, guys.
Winner. Check it out. Exactly.
Nice job. Holy cow. That's the biggest fish you ever caught?
You asked earlier if anyone. This is now the record, yes.
That's awesome.
That's a dandy. Oh, he's 31.
31.
I said 32.
Right there.
Wow.
This was the first 30-pounder we have had on the show in a long time, and also the first of the year for this boat as well.
This year, that's our first one.
First one.
Yeah, we've had some 27s, 28. That's first one over 30, so it's a good day. Middle of July to get 30-pound fish is pretty great. The fight is incredible on a fish that size. As we watched, and they're just more of them showing up all the time. The kings, they were over in Wisconsin for a while this spring, and when we were slow here, they were catching there. Now it's going to turn around a little bit, and hopefully in our favor.
Nice. Well, and how long you been fishing in this port?
I've been fishing it for 50 years.
Wow.
Captain or mate on a charter, probably 45 years. But a long time out of Grand Haven, a lot of fish.
Good job, young man.
Excellent.
Way to go.
Couldn't have done it without all my supporting cast.
What a fun day, and what a good group of guys today as well. As we headed in, I thought this was such a great thing as a memorial for their friend who they lost a few years back. And it again reminded me that life is unpredictable. So, that being the case, look for reasons to connect with good friends and make it a priority. Make sure you take your friend or a kid out on a fishing trip this summer before you look up and the season is over. There's never a bad reason to get out fishing, but connecting with old friends is a great reason for sure. Thanks to the guys for letting me tag along. And get out there, folks, and enjoy a day on the water here in Michigan's Out of Doors. Well, hey everyone, thank you so much for watching Michigan Out of Doors this week. And as always, if you missed something on this week's show or maybe last week's show, you can always check us out online. We have full episodes of the show there every week on our website. We're also on most of the social media platforms as well as YouTube. So lots of places you can kind of see what we're up to and what we're doing. There should be a lot of brand new stuff coming over the next few weeks. Fishing is good in so many corners of our state. Get out and enjoy it. And if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by.
Do you dream of somewhere bigger than your backyard? You can get there with Greenstone. Whether you want to hunt, fish, hike, or just watch the sunset, we're ready to help you own your place in the great outdoors. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com.
By Greenmark Equipment. Greenmark Equipment is a John Deere dealership network in southwest Michigan and northern Indiana. Greenmark provides sales and services to farmers, commercial businesses, large property owners, and homeowners. Information about pricing and products available can be found online at greenmarkequipment.com.
By G5 Outdoors, makers of the Quest and Prime bows, manufactured and designed in Memphis, Michigan. G5 offers a line of archery bows, broadheads, and accessories on the web at g5outdoors.com. Closed captioning provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan man. From the Keweenaw down to St. Joe, Kalamazoo, East to Monroe, to St. Marie and back again. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above,